Hello everybody, I am Nisrin Slimani. Welcome to our channel. Today we are undertaking the course of language and culture. The first thing that we are going to deal with is deficit hypothesis about culture. Then correlation between culture and language use. Then social versus cultural affiliation. And the last thing that we are going to deal with is interculturality and language use. I hope that you will enjoy this video. Let's see together a brief definition about language. Language is the door of human communication. It is the bridge to exchange between nations and the tool of showing and developing one's great culture. By the way, what do you know about culture? Actually, culture can be defined as the product of language and society, but most scholars don't agree as the term product. So, here is another definition about culture. It is a set of aspects shared by a community and applied by its population. In other words, culture represents the daily life of a person and shapes his identity. Culture can be in terms of traditions, food, parties, and all the behaviors of a human being. Now, let us see what is deficit hypothesis. The theory of cultural deficit hypothesis believes that when a group of people don't perform as others or in a different way, means that they are affected by their environment, and their environment is not affecting them in a good way. Well, the social issue that has been studied according to this theory is the difference between the performance of white students and non-white students. They act differently because of their culture and environment. This is mentioned by Neil G. Salkind in his book Encyclopedia of Educational Psychology. This theory believes that non-white students don't perform as well as their white friends because of the situation of their families. From here we understand that the family and their culture affects very much the students' academic achievements. This theory is also called the disadvantages of culture, which means the negative influence of culture. For example, there are some students who are used to read at home. Their family pushes them to do it. Then, their linguistic level is always up. But those who are not used to read, their level is low. Sometimes, problems are raised easily between an Arab person and a Kabyle person. Do you know why? I'll tell you why. Because culture affects also the interpretation of words. For example, Arabs say words that are totally normal for them, but if they say it to Kabyle people, they will think that they are insulting them. So guys, that's it. I hope you understood. Now I let my friends continue the other elements. Thank you so much.
Hello again, with you Tijid Dahia. In this section, we'll discuss the correlation between language and culture. Culture is important in that it is essential in any language classroom in general and in foreign language classroom in particular. In the 1970s, culture has become an essential part of language pedagogy. Some scholars considered culture as a product, but for some of our report in 1981, they claimed that culture is the foundation of communication. Language and culture are inseparable because culture not only dictates who talks to whom about what and how the communication is perceived, but also determines how people encode messages. Language is considered as the main tool through which culture is presented. So, now we will move to talk about social and cultural affiliation. The focus will be on the trial to answer these three following questions. What does it mean by culture and society? What does it mean by the concept affiliation? What is the correlation and the difference between social and cultural affiliation? Society, culture, affiliation. Do you feel that you are confused? So, follow us in this next step where we will try to answer or to define and explain briefly these three concepts. As we have seen before, society is a set of individuals share the same location, attitude, traditions. Culture is an umbrella term that covers all the ways of lifestyle living. Each of them exists due to the other. Each of them depends on the other. Then we have the concept affiliation. What does it mean? According to the Learner's Dictionary, affiliation is the state of belonging to a particular religious or political groups. Now we have affiliation refer to the act or the state of being affiliated, associated with persons, groups, or with a particular organization. Affiliation is the need to associate, to share, and to acquire knowledge through being connecting to a particular group and through having the spirit of connecting and contributing. Being affiliated to a given society is known under the name social affiliation. Social affiliation is characterized by a desire to interact and by pleasure in being with others and is one of a human being's basic and universal motivation. To be socially affiliated, you have to understand the social aspect by being comprehensible, communicating and interacting with others, and by accepting diversity. The need to be belong, the need to be alive. Cultural affiliation. It is the act of being connecting to a culture of a given society which allows the recognition of one's own identity. Cultural affiliation includes many information and share a lot of key terms that should be well analyzed in that it is confused with the concept cultural identity and national affiliation. Then here we have the difference between the two concepts. Cultural affiliation refers to the state of being connecting with a cultural aspect and elements that have their origins in the culture of a particular society, whereas social affiliation refers to the act of being affiliating with social norms and elements which have their origins and play a key role in the society. Here in the middle we have the similarities in which they share the same perspective toward language use.
Hello, I'm Celia Zidane and I'm going to present this section which will tackle the definition, importance and examples of interculturality besides language and interculturality. So let's start with defining interculturality. Interculturality is a term which is divided into two. Inter, which refers to reciprocity, and culture, which is a set of beliefs, habits, attitudes, etc. It refers to the relationship that can be built between different cultures through interaction between people from different cultural backgrounds using language. It refers also to the existence interaction of diverse cultures and possibility of generating shared cultural experiences through dialogue. Interculturality has a huge importance, so let's find it out. Interculturality reduces conflicts and encourages openness, acceptance of others, tolerance, dialogues, and mainly promotes mutual respect between people. Moreover, interculturality raises people awareness toward the diversity that exists in the world. Furthermore, interculturality promotes cultural and language transmission from one generation to another. Another important aspect is that interculturality boasts cooperative working between multicultural and multilingual groups. Last but not least, interculturality enhances cultural awareness and avoid cultural shock, which means that people will be aware of the cultural differences that exist in different cultures and will develop intercultural competence, which is the ability to behave appropriately and effectively in different situations. There are many examples of interculturality, so let's see them. Taking the United States of America as an example, where different people from different countries, from different nations or nationalities, races, share a close relationship and discover new languages and cultures through this relationship that is built through interaction and mutual respect and communication. Thus, these people manage to communicate with each other, to live in harmony, to accept each other, to exchange different cultural aspects, habits, tradition, and learn different languages, which is very important. Another example of interculturality is that it can be also referred to relationships that exist within the same society. Like Algerian society, for example, there is Kabyle culture and Arab culture, yet these people manage to communicate with each other, to exchange different cultural aspects, habits, tradition, and also they manage to exchange language and develop cultural connotation or expression through interaction and dialogue. Language and interculturality. So language plays an important role in interculturality, since the latter happens through communication, dialogue, and interaction between different members of society and between people of different cultures. Language is collector of culture. Thanks to language, human beings form an identity, belong to a group, and maintain boundaries with others. The relationship between language and culture is crucial. None of them can exist in isolation. Language is a part of a culture. They are the core of all human society. That's it. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope that you liked it. Please like and share it with your friends. Thank you.